Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman. I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down. It is late on a Tuesday night. As you can see, I am home in New Jersey. I am not in Connecticut. My buddy Tom hit me up this morning. He was like, Seaman, volleyball. And I said, yeah, I'm in. Then I realized it was Tuesday, not Thursday, because he had said we were playing on Thursday. Wouldn't have made sense for it to be Thursday because I was off, but when you're first waking up, your brain's kind of frazzled, and I didn't put it together until later, and then I was like, oh wait, it's Tuesday. Oh my god, it's Ahsoka, episode 5. But if I didn't play, we would have forfeit. So I came down, played. Decent first outing for us. Our team doesn't win a lot because we treat this like rec volleyball. But there are kids on the high school volleyball team that play in this rec league. Kids that definitely play in college. Some of these games are tough, but I thought we held our own pretty good, specifically in the second set. It was a fun time. And then we go out for a drink, and I was tempted to be like, I should just go home because I got so much recording and editing to do with Ahsoka episode 5, and this is a big one. And I was like, I'll go for one drink. And normally we go to this bar, Amsterdam's, in my hometown. But one of the guys was like, I think it's closed tonight on Tuesday. Usually it's closed on Tuesdays. So we went to this bar that's off the highway, where you'll find a lot of interesting people from Bergen County at that bar. The local crowd is always an experience, so to speak. And right on cue, I was walking up, folks outside, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be an interesting beer. And then there was a kind of scraggly looking dude comes out, and he's like, go get weird, son. And in my head, I was like, yeah, I know. Oh well, it'd be an interesting mixture of human beings tonight. And I opened the door to full-fledged music, concert vibes in my face, dude. David Krumholtz. He was just an Oppenheimer. But people my age, you definitely know him as Bernard the Elf. I dropped a photo of him in my group chat. My one buddy Tim was like, Bernard? I was like, one and the same. Grateful Dead cover band. They crushed. I grabbed some video where Krumholtz was actually singing. He was so good. I didn't know he was a musician. So that was kind of a cool experience to have. And then I wrapped my night up with this. And oh, what a doozy this was. What are we talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We are getting ready to dive in spoiler free into Ahsoka season 1 episode 5 part 5, The Shadow Warrior. We all knew every time Dave Filoni gets behind camera, for me, it's been gold. And when he's handling his character Ahsoka, he does not miss. And there were so many different places Filoni could have gone with this episode. He could have gone 10, 15 minutes longer. Could have included some things that he didn't. Could have gone shorter. Could have been centrally focused. But I think what he chose to focus on in this episode with Ahsoka and the World Between Worlds and the fallout of what we saw on Zetos last week, playing with that stuff was perfection. And the thing that I love the most about this episode is how personal to Ahsoka it is. We know there's been a lot of crazy theories floating around, from Iraq to things that could have been coming in this episode. And the decisions that Filoni ultimately make, one, I think will leave Star Wars fans extremely happy. But two, in a show that feels like Rebels, Filoni gave Ahsoka the episode that character needed right now. And watching her go through this journey that she's on in this episode, tied to the character that we see at the end of last episode that looks to be Anakin Skywalker, played by Hayden Christensen. Fantastic stuff. Everything they did with the two of them was wonderful. Dave Filoni is just a genius. I don't know if they put work in since last week on some of the... I thought the de-aging looked better than the end of last week's episode. I thought Hayden looked great. And like I said, how they utilize that character for Ahsoka storytelling, they do some really cool things. And I think it's the type of stuff where if you are unfamiliar with these animated shows, this is kind of a way for you to understand these characters better. And if you are familiar with these animated shows, there are so many things in this episode that you're just like, oh my god. But I continue to say that the fan service type stuff that Dave Filoni is doing in these episodes with the writing and this group of characters, it all is serving a purpose. It's not fan service for fan service's sake. It's fan service that's doing stuff where you're like, holy shit, I can't believe Dave Filoni just did that. And what that now means for the story and for this character. And the resolution of where we get to and what we set up for next week, I mean, everything about this episode was just stunning. There were wonderful surprises, great commentary and conversations just about things that Ahsoka is dealing with and going through, and like it's a journey that we kind of get to see her move to the next thing. You know, it's one of these it's just, I love what it sets up and where it's taking the character, and then how you tie in the rest of the world that we have going on here, the Rebels elements of the show so far, with the characters that they opt to use when you're not in the world between worlds. There's some really cool stuff. Like there is, like, I want to say it, but if I say it is a spoiler, so you gotta make sure you check out the reactions when those drop later. But like it was like there was just this one non-Ahsoka thing that was so cool. It was so cool, and just the utilization, the thought process to utilize some of the things that Filoni uses in the ways that he uses them in this episode. It just really, really slapped. And look, I'll be like it every week. You give me 15, 20 more minutes in an episode, I could probably find some things that would be worthwhile to journey down. But the counter to that is I don't feel like I have been robbed in any of these episodes. And this one was 52 minutes with the credits, so you're in that like 48-minute range. And that, I'm telling you, 45 minutes is the cutoff. Like, if you do 45 minutes consistently, I really think that you can flesh things out and, you know, really have weighted and grounded storytelling that works, and it doesn't feel like you're rushing. It doesn't feel like you're getting fan service or pop moments for pop moments. Like, it feels like things that you should be invested in. And I love that about this show. And this show in particular, like every episode, I walk away like, man, I can't believe that we're getting this in live action. It's so great. Filoni crushed it, you know, from a writing standpoint, certainly behind the camera. The things that he does, how he plays with scale. And there's one thing in particular that I'm thinking about when I say that, but there's multiple things about scale in this episode where I was just like, that's so cool. And the visuals that we get on screen and some of the action that we get just continues to be top end for Disney Plus Star Wars television. It's just, it's everything I wanted it to be, and then a little bit more. So I'm absolutely loving this show, and this episode was the perfect, like, last week was the baton pass to this one, and this was like the finish your relay, get that gold medal, man. You put, like, I know they put this episode in select theaters, and I understand why they did. But if you would have like tied last week's episode and this week's episode together and put that in theaters, like, that's a really cool thing. And again, the thing I like the most is that this is really an Ahsoka episode in a show that's felt, you know, it's definitely an Ahsoka show, but it feels like she's sharing a lot of this show with characters that we're very glad that she's sharing with. But this was something that was kind of more centralized on Ahsoka in a way where I was like, and what we set up and where we're heading, fire me up, man. So let's get the Sea Maniacs up. This is probably one of the stronger episodes writing-wise from Filoni. There's definitely a lot of things. Again, each episode you feel that animation vibe and like where it comes from and things that Filoni plays with in this episode. You diehards gonna geek out, bro. Like, it's so good. And then people that don't know, I think you're getting to learn and experience and be brought into stuff in a way that feels loving, right? Like, I don't feel like this is a show that is excluding anybody. It'd be very easy to lean into, oh, the Rebel fan base, let's give the Rebel fan base what they want and all this fan service, and like people are like, I can't even connect because I don't feel like I'm in the club. I think Dave Filoni is doing a wonderful job of inviting people into this club and letting them understand who these characters are, taking his time, both on screen with the visuals and in the writing. And I just think what he's doing right now is like perfection. The action we get in this one is great. I squealed multiple times. Just visually, I thought the episode was pretty solid, and like the de-aging looked good. Stuff that's going on that's not Ahsoka driven in this episode was just spot on, and like I said, what we're setting up, where we're going, can't wait for these last 3. But it should be no surprise to anybody here. 5 out of 5 C-Maniacs for the C-Man. This was another one of them like perfect Dave Filoni episodes of television. I loved every second. They did so many cool things. I feel like I can't wait to talk to my friends about this episode. I feel like I'm going to be thinking and probably be watching this episode multiple times. There are just so many cool things. And then the score, I feel like I always forget about the score. Kevin Kiner's crushing it. So many cool score elements this time, and the sound design in general just continues to be stellar. So 5 out of 5 from me. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to flip it over to you. What are you guys thinking? How's your Ahsoka ride been? How much are you enjoying it? What things are popping? Keep it spoiler free, but what's working, what's not? What are you excited for? Did this episode deliver the way it needed to deliver to warrant being in movie theaters tonight? I think it did. Did you? Anything you got, really, man. Good, bad, indifferent on Ahsoka, Season 1, Episode 5, Part 5, The Shadow Warrior. Put it down below in the comments section. Look forward to talking to you guys down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. But if you're new, you want to come hang out with C-Man, anytime we're talking movies, TV trailer, reactions, I'm going to try to see The Nun tomorrow. We got that, there's a sneak peek for that GameStop movie tomorrow. Obviously, our reactions will be coming here for Ahsoka. We got some Mando stuff that I've caught up on that we're starting to post. You want to be here for any of that? You want to show a little love and support the old C-Man? Well, come join C-Maniac Nation, where you can do all those things simply by jumping over there, hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down, I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace. Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those C-Man goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.